You know what's really difficult? What? Making friends after you're no longer in school. Yeah, we didn't realize how good we had it back then, did we? We used to be surrounded by people our same age every day, going through the same life stages and struggles. Now it just feels like everyone has already long since split off into their lifelong friends groups, and if you're not in one, you're just on the outside forever. Tough luck for you. Being on the outside is the loneliest feeling, isn't it? Do you think a part of that is because of your move to Japan? To be honest, I've never really been good at prioritizing community and friends time. I tend to focus a bit too hard on the next big hurdle to overcome. Then I go heads down on learning a skill or practicing a craft. Sure, sometimes there's people involved, but not as often as I wish there was. I get that, but maybe you're just in a new stage of life. You've certainly met a lot of new people in the last couple years, and your worldview shifted significantly after moving here. Maybe it's not that you're inherently bad at community, but that you're now finally in a season where you're ready for it. Yeah, that's certainly possible, but what poor timing. The thing is, I do have friends from my neighborhood and work and stuff, and I always have a great time when we hang out. It's just I can't seem to consistently set aside the time to see folks after a long workday or on a precious weekend or day off. I think a lot of people struggle with that. This winter, I finally got around to reading a couple books by Danish author Meik Wiking. He does a great job of exploring how different cultures intentionally build happiness into daily life, and community is a topic that comes up a lot in his books. I feel like I still have so much to learn about it myself. You seem so well connected though. Every time we hang out, you have a story about meeting friends for coffee or going on a hike or something. Well, I'm naturally introverted, but as I've grown, I realized that building and maintaining meaningful connections has a really powerful effect on me. It doesn't come easy though. I have to actively carve out space in my schedule and remind myself that getting a bunch of people together requires effort and planning. Honestly, it still takes a big chunk of my free time every week. I didn't consider how much goes on behind the scenes to live such a well-connected life. I'm not sure I have time like that, especially with all the exciting creative projects I want to work on this year. Am I just out of luck then? Is it even worth the effort? I think it is worth it. Happiness researchers consistently find that people benefit a lot from building meaningful community. It's actually one of the core measurements of life satisfaction, having folks you can lean on for help and connection. Maybe we can brainstorm some ideas for you to try alongside your creative projects. That would be great. I'd love to actually make this work instead of just pining for more friends time without actually doing anything about it. I've tried looking for meetups in my area, but I'm not much into social media. And I feel like the meetup platforms I used to use in the States don't really have the same draw here in Tokyo. But you do already have a bunch of good friends here in the city, right? Yeah, both good friends and people I wish I was closer with. But that's the thing. We have so much fun together, but somehow I always seem to drop the ball on following up. And then before I know it, weeks or months have passed between hangouts. I wonder if we can hack this for you the same way you learned Japanese or started your gym routine. Ooh, you mean like building a habit? That could be interesting, using one of my existing strengths to take on the challenge of making more time for community. Yeah, exactly. All right, for our first experiment, what if we try this? Recurring events. You mentioned your challenge was in setting aside the time to plan things. And I know not everyone enjoys that as much as I do. What if you were to reach out to, say, 2 or 3 of your most well-connected friends and see if they either already have a recurring event you could join, or if they'd be willing to start a new one with you? I do like the idea of setting up a hangout that happens automatically without having to build up the momentum from scratch every time. What kind of events work for that? It's probably different for every friend group, but in the past I've been part of groups that met regularly for things like book discussions, board game nights, or movie exchanges. Come to think of it, I bet those specific activities work well because they require less effort to show up for than something like a hike or a photo walk. Plus, they're things you can do all year round if you want. Yeah, that just might work, and I know exactly who to start with. I can totally see myself going to a regular board game night for tea and laughs with friends, even during a busy week if I didn't also have to plan it from scratch every time. What a great idea. Awesome. And to take some pressure off, if this first attempt doesn't work out, that's totally fine. We can come up with something else to try next. That's what makes it an experiment. Thanks, you're the best. All right, off to call some friends who I'd love to lose a board game to. See you next week. Have fun.